right, let's talk about the Kansas game. Kansas coming in off their first loss of the season to TCU last week at home. Kansas looked good with a backup quarterback in for 3/4 of the game. We talked about that in our post-game pod a little bit. Kansas is a talented football team. They're not the same old Kansas. Lance Leipold has this team humming, and they look pretty good. And this isn't the same Kansas team that Samaje Perine broke the record against. This isn't the same Kansas team that Baker held his crotch against. Like, this team's really good. And OU knows that, and I'm sure Brent Venables knows that. And right now, it doesn't matter if the team's good or not. They got to be ready to play because they don't look good right now. So let's start with the offense against the OU offense against the Kansas defense. Dylan Gabriel's going to play. I'm going to say it. It's not confirmed by anybody, but if he's practicing and he's talking to the media, I don't care what concussion protocols you have. If that's your protocols, he's playing. Like, he wouldn't talk to the media if he wasn't ready to play. So I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be your quarterback. I'm interested to see how he comes back and responds, what this offense looks like. I feel like you got to open it up. And let's say he doesn't play. If Davis Bell's the guy who's in there, you got to throw more, right? Or is it going to be more Wildcat? I don't know.
I mean, not, but what do you? I don't know that we've seen any reason to expect us to just open up the offensive playbook if it's anyone except for Dylan. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's like a lack of trust in the quarterbacks or just an error on Levy's part, but last week didn't work, and Kansas has all of that on film now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I think you're right, Mason. I think he comes back. BV kind of was swaying, like, in his press conference, was like, yeah, he's probably going to play. Like, we'll have a for sure answer on Thursday.
Yeah. But
he was like, he's been in full practice, which makes me think that he's going to play. He talked to the media. He was like, I'm taking it a day at a time, but I feel really good today, all that kind of stuff. So, I'm just interested to see. I think I saw a statistic or I heard something that, like, the second he went out in the TCU game, we've had like 18 series since then, I believe, from like midpoint through the TCU game through the Texas game. And like, we have only had like 100 yards of offense or something like absolutely insanely ridiculous that, like, we just haven't been able to move the ball without him. So I'm just very, like, fascinated to see like how he comes back in and how he adjusts to coming back in, because we know he's had some accuracy issues. And I'm curious if those are going to get better with him being off for like 2 weeks, or if they're going to get worse and he has to warm up and he has to get back into it. So I'm just fascinated with like the way that the way the offense shows up with him behind the line.
Yeah, accuracy for me is the biggest thing with Dylan coming in. I think he's going to play too. If he doesn't play, I hope we see Nick Evers. But accuracy for me and getting the wide receivers going last week was really unacceptable. Mims didn't have a ball, like, catch a ball, or no, it was -2 yards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that stuff just can't happen, whether whoever is playing quarterback. And then I want to see more in-game adjustments. It feels like we're just continuously stubborn in our offense and what we're running. And I want to see big in-game adjustments and unpredictability if we get put in a bad spot.
Yeah, I'll say right away on this podcast, if DG doesn't play, OU's not winning this football game. Not from what I've seen from Bevel, not what I've seen even from the Wildcat, that maybe I hope they continue to run, because they actually had some good momentum. They were getting some good yards, but then obviously when you get in tough third down situations, you can't rely on Davis Bevel to get you a first down or make a good accurate read or throw. So DG gives us the only possibility of playing. I see OU in the ESPN app right now, we're favored by 9. So that would lead me to believe that DG.
So crazy.
Right. That DG, they would be leaning that DG would play. I can't believe that. I'm sure Mark can give some more insight on the number as well. But I think the run game has to be established first. Even if DG starts, we have to rely heavily on the running game. Even if that means coming back to a Wildcat and getting Brady Willis. He ran it, I thought, pretty well. And disguise and getting the wide receivers involved. The run game has to get going. They don't need to rely heavily on DG if he plays. Run game should help us get through. Kansas is giving over 100+ rushing yards a game, even 400 yards of total offense. So it's not like they're stopping people on defense. They're purely just outscoring opponents at this point.
Mark.
We're actually at 9. Yeah. I know it opened somewhere near that, but then it moved down to 7 and had hovered there. It stopped hovering and is officially Oklahoma by 9. I was just looking at, so one of the things that we talked about before the season with the Jeff Lebby offense is last year they had 3 players over 1,000 yards rushing, right? 2 backs and the quarterback. Well, we're halfway through the season and we have 1 player, Eric Gray, above 500 yards rushing. The next highest is Javonte Barnes at 247.
That's disgusting.
It's really disgusting. It doesn't really make sense, especially when you game planned an entire game to just run the football. But I digress on that part. We have to be able to open the playbook up some this week. Hopefully Dylan is playing. Even if he's not, there has to be a better game plan than we saw for Texas. If there's not, that's when I start looking at, like, is Jeff Lebby
who we think he is
always gonna be here?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just you got to see more of a game plan.
Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I think if DG can't play and Bevel comes out, you're going to hear the boo birds in Norman, Oklahoma.
Oh, for sure.
I agree.
Oh, no doubt.
And it's nothing
they're
against
booing him in Dallas.
Listen, we have Bevel didn't grow up in the program. He's a transfer in. There's nothing against the guy. But if he's the guy that's going to put you in a position to win you a football game, and clearly what we've seen from the last game and a half, he's not it. So if DG's not going to play, give Nick Evers a chance, give Booty a chance. I'd rather see them get in than have to watch whatever Bevel can give us.
The key to me, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or whether it's Davis Bevel or somebody else, if Marvin Mims doesn't get the football, you're dead on offense. I'm telling you right now, you're dead. You have to get your best player on the team involved. I don't care how you do it. Put the ball in his hands, run a slant route. If you can't believe that Bevel can't throw that far, do something, because he's the best player on your offense. And he was non-existent in the Texas game. And that's a massive reason you got shut out for the first time in 311 games, or whatever that number is that I keep saying. It's gross. It's disgusting and it's despicable. Figure it out. It's not that difficult to scheme up a guy of Marvin Mims's caliber to get him open enough to where even if the ball's not super accurate, he can hit him and let him run. And do that. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the most shocking part of the game. Like, how can you not throw multiple balls to Marvin Mims?
Because we didn't let our quarterback throw.
I get that.
I know.
Still
39 yards.
The only thing that he could throw were little slant passes, and hey, toss it deep, just chuck it. That's the only thing Jeff is calling for him.
Gabe Eichert said that the pass that went out of bounds that they tried to hit Marvin deep on was 6 yards out of bounds. It didn't even have a shot. Like, it had no shot.
And we should be fair. It is hard to play quarterback when you're basically standing on the sideline for first down, second down, and then on third down, they ask you to pick it up on a 3rd and 13. Yep. That's an impossible situation to be in. No quarterback can do that. That said, his ineptness is part of why we're going with that offense on first and second down, right? If you don't trust him enough to open up the playbook, do it with someone else. We got to figure something different out.
Yep. Let's move on to the defense. Oklahoma defense against the Kansas offense. No Jalen Daniels for the Jayhawks. It was reported that he's out for the year, but Jalen Daniels tweeted that that's news to him. So he's not playing against Oklahoma, but who knows if he's out for the whole year. That would suck for Kansas, just because Jalen Daniels has been fun to watch. But it's what's his name? Bean?
Jason Bean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason Bean.
And he played OU last year, and he took OU to the wire.
Good stat line.
And he had 3 touchdowns last week against TCU in a losing effort in 3 quarters. No, 4 touchdowns. I think it was 4.
I think it was 4.
4 and 3 quarters. So he's good. And Kansas is a talented football team on the offensive side of the ball. Like Matt said, I think they try to outscore you. And that's what they're going to try to do. And right now, with an Oklahoma team that scored 0 points last game, it's not that hard to outscore the opposing team if you hold them to 0. So this is a tough task for the OU defense. I'll open it up. What are you guys looking for?
Yeah, I'll take it. I want Brent Venables to get back to his roots. And even if Ted Roof is calling the plays, blitz.
Yeah.
Blitz. Send pressure.
Get back.
We got nothing to lose. Get back to it. Make this backup quarterback scared. Flick Bean all up and down the field until he's ready to go home. Until he's beaten up. Until he's swollen.
Satisfied.
Until he's swollen and hurt.
Agreed.
You just beat him up.
We got to stop letting Mark go.
Yeah.
We really need to stop.
I agree. We need pressure on the quarterback.
Send lots of guys at him.
All right. Send lots of guys at the bean. All right. Patrick, jump in there.
Too much arm tackling last week. Really want that to improve. The positioning was off as well. Got to improve. They're definitely overthinking. They also looked tired. If I could give them any advice, just have fun and play some football and hit some guys. Just hit them, tackle them. Done with this crap.
Ryan, how do we balance playing the guys that should be playing with the guys who you want to play? Because the guys that should be playing right now seem like the young guys who have, like, aka Jaren Kanak, who have shown us glimpses of what they can do, versus guys who continue to disappoint us week in and week out.
Yeah, I think it's hard for us.
Objection, Your Honor. Leading question.
Yeah,
very leading question.
It was. Sorry.
I think it's difficult for us as fans to know the answer to that question, Mason, because there could be a lot of things going on that we don't understand. I am with you to this, though, where, like, I still don't understand why like JK7 is not playing. And he played, like, when did they put him in last week? They put him in at, like, the fourth quarter, very end, right at the end. Yeah, I still don't understand that. I still don't understand why we're putting in our young guys at the very end.
So if you're saving his red shirt, you already burned it anyway. You know what I mean?
Same thing. So, we're talking about defense right now, but they did the same thing with Nick Evers, and I don't get it. But there could be.
What red shirt are we worried about for Nick Evers? Jackson,
I'm just
next year, and we're not worried about Nick Evers.
I mean, just like, you say you're giving them time, but really what you're giving them is garbage time and, like, plays that don't work around them. How are they supposed to learn from that? Like, I think it's a hard question to answer because, I think, we're not coaches. We don't see them every day. We don't see them every day in practice. We don't know what's going on. But at the same time, we do see with our eyes what the outcome is and what the product is, and it's not great. So the
product over and over again
and over again, And so, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a really hard and, like, question to answer because we don't have all the details, but I think what we do see is the outcome is not what we want. And in order to change an outcome, you have to change the actual process that you put in place to get that outcome. And in this case, we might need to change our team a little bit. So I don't know. That's not a great answer to your question, but, like, that's kind of my thought process around it.
Anybody
play JK7, play R. Mason Thomas, all the other youngins, if they've earned it, throw them in. But we've seen those guys, they can play rotational football at least at this point.
Yeah.
Patrick, what does the defense got to do to hold back Kansas?
Pressure. That's my biggest thing. Stop the run game, get tackles for loss. Got to get back to that.
You're not going to get pressure with 3 guys in a 3-man front. So that's just got to stop. Whatever the hell that is. Like, I've heard from multiple people who are in the know and know football way better than I do, that a 3-man front, you have to have a beast as a nose guard who's like 320 pounds, and we ain't got that. So let's stop with the 3-man front stuff. It's just not going to work right now.
Brent
It's
said
just
he
not.
went to it because that's how we played against Nebraska, and we played well. But I mean, things have changed. Things have changed.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Mason.
That's also an unsatisfying answer.
I agree.
Like,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry. We're playing
Also,
a much different
That
team.
Also,
just
I wanna-
goes back to
I
It
want
goes
it on
back
the
to
record that none of us were the ones who texted Brent Venables, by the way.
No.
yes.
None
We
of us
think
were
it might have
those.
been Gann. We're not sure, but
It could be. Gann has burners, so we don't really know.
it's a character. We're not entirely
No
sure.
one knows anything about Gann.
No
guys.
one.
It is.
No
Leave a
one
comment
does.
down below
Enigma.
if you know anything about Matt Gann, because
Yeah.
we don't really. We don't.
I think to kind of the point that was just made. I mean, it goes back to I think the number one thing that I want to see about.
I wanted to talk.
I did want to talk. I want to talk. I'm
No,
always
Matt
wanting to
did.
talk.
I know
and
we're
then
getting
you
we're getting
muted
Matt.
yourself.
I saw you.
I think it comes back to what I want to see from the defense is adjustments, because I do not want to get punched in the face again like we have every single game. I think all but the first game is the only game that we scored first. Like, I think every other game they've scored in front of us. And, I want to see how we adjust to that, because the last 3 games we have not adjusted, but that needs to happen.
Let's get
Start
it, Matt.
again.
Yeah, I was going to say Kansas has a very balanced offense. 226 yards passing, 213 yards rushing. That's a well-balanced offense. OU, worse in the Big 12 in rushing defense, giving up over 215 yards plus. That's saying a lot, especially with a Kansas team that is not known for offensive firepower or playing football in general, right? So to have this type of offensive balance and averaging over 200 yards a game, first and foremost, what I'm looking at is you got to change the scheme on defense to stop the run. If we can stop the run, maybe that gives us a better chance. But we even saw Jason Bean come in last week after the quarterback gets injured. He goes 16 to 24 for 4 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards down the field. I mean, they were letting him throw down the field. They trusted him to make those reads and make those throws, and he almost came out and won. So it's going to be a well-balanced Kansas offense. But the first thing we've got to do is change the scheme, whether that's 4 down linemen, but we've got to plug those gaps. Stutzman and David have to fill those and stop the running game, give our defense hopefully a better chance. But we're going to give up a ton of yards. There's no doubt about it.
So let's do what we do every week. What's the one big thing that you're looking for out of this game, whether it be on offense, defense, special teams? What are you looking for? Patrick, we'll start with you.
I'm going to take it one step further back. I just want to win. No matter how sloppy that looks, how bad it is, I want to win.
I appreciate that. I can
This is
appreciate
very
that.
short. To the
It's
point.
it's
We love
simple.
it.
It's simple in theory,
Right.
but as we've seen, it's not very. Mark,
I'll finish how I started. I want us to get to the bean.
still sticking with it.
Jesus.
He's persistent with the bean. Matt,
I'll keep it simple too. I just want to get some scores on the scoreboard. I want some fireworks to be going off in Norman. I want the crowd to be into it. We need the momentum. Let's score a bunch of points with DG in the offense. Let them rip.
Ryan,
I want to see how DG plays. I still think he's going to play this week, so I want to see how he adjusts back to him.
I want the passing game to be alive again. I want to see long throws completed. I want to see short throws completed. I want to see big plays. I want to see first downs. I want to see all of that stuff through the air to show me that we can still do that and that we have the quarterback to do that. And that's Dylan Gabriel. And I hope he comes in and he's the guy. Mark's concerned that he's not going to play is what it looks like.
No, I'm just not concerned. I'm concerned he's not the guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like nothing about playing.
That's fair. All right, let's
like we're all excited about Dylan coming back, but none of us were especially pleased with his play before he left.
Yeah.
Right. No picks, but infinity missed opportunities on third down and touchdown plays.
So
Then
I
Then
feel
we saw the play without him.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, lesser of two evils, maybe.
yeah.
I guess, but back to the drawing board in the offseason.
So let's go with our score predictions. real quick. We'll rattle through. Matt, start with you.
This is tough. I might have to update through the week if I see DG's not playing. If DG's playing, I'm going to go OU 24, Kansas 21.
I have OU 27-24. That's what I have. Anyone?
I have
next?
OU 27-17. It's interesting. Yeah, 27.
Okay. So OU covers.
Oh, yeah.
I love Patrick. I love him, man. All right. Mark Ryan.
28-24. I was going to see if he was going to go.
28-24 who? Say that loud.
Sooners.
Okay. Oh. All right, Mark.
Well, I'm a man of integrity. Last week, I did my best. Patrick was much better than me at predicting the score.
Great
but
score prediction, Patrick. Go Horns, baby. Right? Huh?
I predicted we'd score 1 touchdown. We didn't score any. That's on me.
Yeah, it's on you.
I'm thinking like 31-21. So we'll cover this -9.
Okay.
All right.
I hope you're right. Let us know down below in the comments what your score prediction is. Also, what's the one big thing you're looking for out of the game this week? Read every comment. Love seeing it. Post-game pod blew up last week with all those comments. Really appreciate those guys. Keep on commenting. Even if you're a Texas fan and watching this, joke's on you. We still get paid because of you. So, thanks for the view. Thanks for the view in the comments. Appreciate that.